Ladies and gentlemen, the 40th anniversary edition of Microsoft Flight Simulator is imminent, and with it, we also have the launch of Sim Update 11 launching on November the 11th. Usually this brings with it several bug fixes and improvements, and this time the most notable improvement is going to be in the weather department, which includes thermals in the sim for the first time, as we will be getting gliders in the sim. Now, for those of you who don't know, gliders have been on Asobo's community wish list since the very initial launch of Microsoft Flight Simulator back in 2020. So it's exciting that they're finally here, and Asobo have released a feature discovery video on gliders that we will discuss in today's video. Not only this, but we will also have some groundbreaking news regarding a completely first-person mode coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator courtesy of popular realism utility FSRealistic. So for all of that and much more, stay tuned. What is going on, guys? Flyby Simulations here, and with the 31st of the month fast approaching, we here at Flyby Simulations want to wish every single one of you guys a scary and spooky Halloween. But you guys want to know what's really scary? How fast this channel and community is really growing. I can't thank you guys enough for the support. We're almost at 8,000 subscribers. I think we're around about 40 subscribers off. But you know what's even scarier though? According to my analytics, nearly 85% of you guys haven't even subscribed to the channel. So come on, guys, it's the spirit of Halloween. Break the scare and subscribe to the channel. So without further ado, let's get started with FSRealistic's first-person mode in today's video. So starting off with, a new first-person effect is imminent and will be coming very soon to the FSRealistic add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator, with all new walking, running, and crouching animations, as well as custom sounds to enhance immersion all around. Now, for those of you who don't know what FSRealistic does, it is a paid third-party add-on that adds custom head shake, vibrations, and sounds to the sim, so you can feel truly immersed. You know, from head shake and ground vibrations when you touch down on the ground to various custom cabin and cockpit sounds throughout your flight. It's one of those add-ons that truly enhances your experience in sim, and it's something that I've never taken out of my community folder ever since I put it in there when the add-on first came out. Now, FSRealistic have shared this video you can see in the background showing how the brand new first-person effect will look and what features it includes. As can be seen, simmers will now be able to actually walk around the tarmac as well as around the apron in a realistic way. No longer do you have to use the classic drone view during your external walkarounds and pretend as if you're being a diligent first officer. You now have the option of actually walking around your aircraft, look at the various features of the plane, and find the intricate aspects of the plane that so many third-party aircraft developers spend so long trying to recreate to perfection. So one thing I really noticed as soon as I saw this video was the sense of scale that you get when you're walking in first person. With drone view, you're normally above the wings, or you're at the level of the fuselage, but really being on the ground level shows you how big or huge some of these aircrafts are, as well as how sometimes they're very small, like the VFR aircraft, like the Cessnas of the world. So really exciting add-on coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, I'm more of an IFR flyer for those that watch the channel often, but from a VFR perspective, you can now appreciate the external sounds that Asobo has spent so long trying to perfect for the Sim 2. When you move the various control surfaces on smaller aircraft when you're on your first-person external walk-around with this add-on, you can hear them flapping about and moving, so take a listen for yourselves. Now, I personally can't wait to use this for cinematic content on the channel, since this feature will include sounds for walking on various surfaces such as airport terminals, the pavement, the asphalt, and I'm sure it'll be great fun to go on bush trips, land your aircraft, and just sit next to it and enjoy the sunset. So I absolutely can't wait for this feature. I know it's something small, it's just a small immersion adder for a lot of people, but for me personally as a content creator, this opens up whole new avenues of, creativity and stuff I can bring to you guys on Flyby Simulations. On a final note, I highly encourage you guys to check out the full video showcase on FSRealistic's YouTube channel. Again, the link to this will be down in the description section of the video. The developer takes 5 minutes and walks you through most of the features that this first-person mode will include. So I highly recommend you guys to go check it out. This is just a brief summary of what will be included. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about gliders. As I said, with Sim Update 11's launch on November the 11th, Microsoft Flight Simulator would finally be welcoming gliders into the mix. And as easy as it may sound to bring another aircraft type into the sim, it's hard work, especially because gliders don't usually have the liberty of propelled, self-sustained flight, but instead need a viable launch system and intricately modeled thermals in the weather to, glide. In the feature discovery video shared by Asobo, again, link is in the description, the team divide the video into art, sound, and flight model and instrumentation. So we'll do the same and talk about each of them briefly to give you some perspective on what you can expect. Let's start off with art then. Comes as no surprise that the team have gone above and beyond to create the visual look of gliders in the sim. This is Asobo we're talking about here. The team has taken hundreds of pictures as well as 3D image scans of both the interior and exterior of gliders to help bring them into the sim. It's important that they get the visuals right since gliders are very peculiar looking. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen a glider in real life, but with their light frames, their tight cockpits, and massive wingspans, it's really peculiar looking, and it's important to get them right to actually show what they look like and replicate them in the sim. So rest assured, the team will be making accurate looking gliders. Next up, let's talk audio. Audio is also very different with gliders since the main source of noise in most aircraft is not present in gliders, aka the sound of the engine. So in addition to the various button sounds and instrumentation in the cockpit of the aircraft, it's imperative to get the noise of the wind crashing against the airframe of the glider as accurate as possible to create an authentic experience. Take a listen for yourself how the team here has modeled the various aerodynamic movements of the aircraft and matched them to the appropriate audio. Personally, I love the one where the glider goes into a cloud and how the entire soundscape changes. So cool stuff, check it out. Wow, that was amazing. So, with thermals being new to Sim Update 11, the team has also placed additional emphasis on hearing said thermals when you're sitting in the cockpit. So, you'll hear your aircraft getting moved up or down courtesy of Mother Nature. Again, very cool to see attention to detail. Moving on, let's talk about the flight model and instrumentation, probably the most important aspect of glider support for Microsoft Flight Simulator. First of all, let's talk about launch methods because, as I said, a glider doesn't have self-propulsion and needs an external means to get it in the air. So Asobo have included two separate launch methods similar to real life. You either have a winch or a tow plane that will be attached to you via a cable and will take you up to a certain altitude before detaching and allowing you to glide. I love options, so nothing more to say here. Speaking more on thermals, the team said they've improved their effect under different conditions, taking into account cloud cover, the level of sunshine, the temperature, the season, the time of day, as well as the physical ground surfaces you're gliding over, may they be mountains or flat plains, so you can expect to see realistic gliding behavior all around. We can also see this display thermals feature that will likely be introduced in Sim Update 11 in the weather window in Sims, so you can actually visualize both the direction and the intensity of the thermals in your particular environment. Again, very interesting stuff. Now, the rest of the video talks about the various instruments present in the cockpit, including a barometer to view exchanges in energy types to help keep the glider in the air, as well as other means to visualize your gliding performance. The main sources of energy you'll be using to keep yourself in the air are kinetic energy, aka your airspeed or overall movement, and your potential energy, aka your altitude. So various needles and gauges in the cockpit will allow you to monitor your exchanges between these energy types, so how much altitude you might be losing to increase your airspeed or vice versa to help determine glide performance and longevity. You can of course use the thermals in the region to refill these energy sources in a way, so an updraft can help raise your altitude and give you more potential energy, so there's a real incentive to use your environment to your advantage. It's very interesting stuff, and we'll definitely be checking out gliders when they do eventually come out on November 11th on Flyby Simulation, so make sure you're subscribed for that. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that covers today's news video. Again, Microsoft Flight Simulator is evolving to new standards that I didn't think were possible in the world of flight simulation in general. We now have gliders with so much intricate support, as well as the first-person mode, which is, I would venture to say, unprecedented in the flight simulation world. Leave it down in the comment section below if you think you know that this has been done in prior simulators. I personally do not, so I would love to know more. With that all said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching, and let's get to 8,000 subscribers by the end of today. That would be absolutely fantastic, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks for flying by.